If you're good enough at what you do, you let the 5.5 ounces do the talking for you. It's a simple line, but when it comes from Curtly Ambrose, it carries a different kind of weight. Because Ambrose never needed words. A towering figure, no expression, no celebration. And yet, an entire batting lineup could fall apart in front of him. But here's where the story takes a turn. Today, he's no longer under stadium lights, no longer at the center of the game. Instead, he's living a life that feels almost invisible. Inside his home in Antigua, no performance, no need to be seen. And yet, there's something most people don't realize. His life today isn't as quiet as it looks. So the real question is, what's actually happening behind the doors of a man who never needed noise to be remembered? You might expect the home of a cricket legend to look a certain way. A luxury villa, a Caribbean ocean view, an infinity pool overlooking the horizon. But when it comes to Curtly Ambrose, none of that applies. He never left Antigua. No relocation abroad. No global lifestyle shift. No move into elite resort living. Instead, he stayed exactly where his story began. In fact, Ambrose once described it with quiet pride. It wouldn't take me more than 20 minutes to walk from where I was born and grew up to where I live now. I am a true Antiguan and Barbudan to the bone. That one line reveals everything. He didn't upgrade his life, he stayed rooted in it. His home today reflects that same philosophy. Not designed to impress, not built to be seen, just a space that serves a purpose, to live quietly. There are no house tours, no interior features in magazines, no carefully staged photos. And that's not because the information is unavailable, it's because it was never meant to be public. Even his official Instagram, at @CurtlyAmbrose_, reflects the same pattern. You'll find coaching moments, music performances, cricket-related appearances. Never his private life. And that's exactly why this next part feels so unexpected. Because just when you think you understand Curtly Ambrose, the silence, the discipline, the absence of attention, you discover something else entirely. Curtly Ambrose is a musician. Not a publicity move, not a reinvention after retirement. But something that has been part of him for far longer than most people realize. He plays bass guitar in the band Spirited, previously known as Big Bad Dread and the Bald Head. And the intention behind it is clear. As he once shared, "We intend to produce the best music we can and to hopefully go globally and become international group." This wasn't about staying relevant. It was about expression. Because if cricket was built on control, music became his release. No packed stadiums, no pressure to perform, just sound, rhythm. And what makes this even more compelling is where it all began. This wasn't something he discovered after the game. It started while he was still playing at the highest level. During international tours, his roommate, Richie Richardson, would often play guitar to relax. Ambrose would sit nearby, tapping rhythms on the table, singing along quietly. Until one day in Birmingham, during a test tour, he walked into a music store and bought a bass guitar. That moment didn't change his career, but it revealed something deeper. From that point on, music became part of his routine, a way to unwind, a way to disconnect from the intensity of international cricket, a way to express something that never showed on the field. And maybe that's the real twist. This isn't life after cricket. This is the part of Curtly Ambrose that cricket never showed you. And when you look back at his career through that lens, the silence, the control, the restraint, it all starts to make sense. I could bat and bowl properly, where most guys couldn't. They had to chop and all that stuff, you know? So I guess I had this natural. It doesn't sound dramatic, but it explains everything. Because there is one moment in cricket history that tells you exactly who Curtly Ambrose really was. Not a speech, not an interview, not even a celebration. Just 32 balls, 7 wickets, 1 run. Australia collapsed. And Ambrose? He simply turned and walked away. That moment happened in Perth, 1993. Waka ground. Australia were 85 for 2. The game was still balanced. Then, in less than an hour, everything disappeared. In just 32 deliveries, Ambrose dismantled the entire batting lineup. From 85 for 2 to 119 all out. He finished with 7 for 25. West Indies won by an innings and 25 runs. The series ended 2-1, and he was player of the match. And the truth is, this wasn't a miracle performance. It was a pattern. Because when you step back and look at his career, the numbers don't just impress. They describe a level of control that very few athletes ever reach. 98 test matches, 405 wickets. Average, 20.99. Economy rate, around 2.30, one of the most consistent fast bowlers in the history of cricket. He also added 225 ODI wickets between 1988 and 2000. But even those numbers don't fully explain it, because what made Ambrose different was not just what he did, it was how it felt to face him. At 2.01 meters tall, he didn't need to be the fastest. He created pressure in a different way. Line and length that rarely missed. Bounce that felt almost vertical. A rhythm that never broke. Every over felt the same. No mistake. Batsmen didn't attack him. They survived him. And there were other moments just as defining. In 1990, Headingley versus England, Ambrose produced his best test figures. 8 wickets for 45 runs. A performance that completely controlled the match from start to finish. 1994, Trinidad versus England, Queen's Park Oval. 6 wickets for 24 runs in the second innings. England collapsed to just 46 all out, one of the lowest scores in Test history. Ambrose finished with 11 for 84 in the match. Another player of the match performance. Across multiple series against England, West Indies didn't just win, they dominated. And Ambrose was a central part of that dominance. But here's where the story becomes quieter. Because financially, his career looks very different from modern athletes. There is no officially confirmed net worth from major outlets like Forbes or Celebrity Net Worth. Unofficial estimates, based on available analysis, generally place his net worth between $3 million and $5 million. But no exact number has ever been publicly verified. And the reason is simple. Curtly Ambrose played in a different era, before the IPL, before T20 leagues, before massive endorsement deals, before social media monetization. His income came from West Indies central contracts, county cricket with Northamptonshire, 1989 to 1996, where he was highly successful, match fees and international tours. And after retirement, coaching, commentary, advisory roles, including technical consultant for the Leeward Islands Cricket Board, from 2025. No luxury brand partnerships, no business empire built around his name. But that was never the goal. Because Ambrose didn't build his career around money. He built it around control, and what he earned instead was something much harder to measure. Respect from teammates, from opponents like Alan Border and Steve Waugh, from an entire generation of cricket fans. He was inducted into the ICC Cricket Hall of Fame in 2011. Not because he was marketable, but because he was undeniable. And maybe it all goes back to where it started. My mother, who's a cricket fanatic, always wanted a cricketer. She had 3 sons, and my older brother used to play cricket back in Antigua before he migrated. So since I was next in line, my mother kept bashing my ears that I had to. There was no big strategy, discipline, and repetition. And maybe that's why, when you look at his life today, the silence doesn't feel empty. It feels complete, because he already did everything he needed to do. And he did it, without ever needing to say much about it. So what really happens when a man no longer needs to be seen? At 63, Curtly Ambrose is living a life that feels almost unfamiliar, especially in a world built on visibility. No loud social media presence, no curated lifestyle, no daily effort to stay relevant. And yet, nothing about his life is empty. It's simply intentional. Start with what matters most. His family. Not displayed, not documented, but deeply present. Ambrose married Bridget Benjamin in 2001 in a private ceremony in Antigua. Together they built a life away from attention. They have 5 daughters, including Annie, who was adopted. One still lives at home, while the others are based in the United States and Canada. But you won't see them online. You won't hear their stories in interviews, because that was never the point. And at home, Ambrose is not the man the world remembers. He is softer, more relaxed. In his own words, "They tend to control me. My wife sometimes does get angry because she's a little bit more stern with them than I am. So when I soften them up and pamper them, she does get real annoyed sometimes, but they're all good girls." That moment reveals something important. The man who once controlled entire matches now allows himself to be controlled at home. And maybe that's not a contradiction. Maybe that's balance. Because the truth is, he doesn't hide his life. He simply chooses not to broadcast it. His daily life remains grounded in one place, Antigua. Not as a temporary base, but as a permanent choice. He has made it clear, this is home, and it always will be. But staying quiet doesn't mean standing still. Ambrose is still deeply connected to cricket. Since October 2025, he has taken on the role of technical consultant for the Leeward Islands Cricket Board, working behind the scenes to guide strategy, support player development, and help shape the future of the Leeward Islands Hurricanes. He is also a certified Level 3 coach, so while he no longer dominates on the field, he still influences what happens on it. And beyond cricket, another rhythm continues: music. He still plays bass guitar in Spirited, alongside Richie Richardson, exploring reggae, soca, and calypso. Not for attention, not for image, but because it's part of who he is. When he does step into the public eye, it's always selective. Occasional involvement in CPL with Antigua and Barbuda Falcons, local community appearances. Rare interviews, including diplomatic engagements for Antigua and Barbuda 2025. Even his Instagram, at @CurtlyAmbrose_, reflects that same philosophy. Around 37,000 followers, but no personal life, no luxury display, no attempt to stay visible. Just cricket, coaching, and that's where the pattern becomes clear. He hasn't disappeared. He simply decides when to appear. Because this isn't withdrawal. This is control at a higher level. After retiring in 2000, he didn't chase money. And when you look closely, the silence today is not new. It's the same silence he carried on the field. Only now, it's no longer about controlling the game. It's about controlling his life. And maybe that's the real definition of success. Not needing to stand out, but never being forgotten. A man who chose silence, but left behind a legacy that still speaks. So what do you think? Is this a simple life? Or a choice that only a few people have the strength to make? Share your thoughts below. We'll see you in the next video.